Hello students, for these next several tutorials you'll notice that there are actually no photos for you to use, and that's because I'm going to show you how to create images from scratch. And the first thing that you'll do is do File and New. And you may have remembered that we did this when we created your photo bio. I actually created a template for you for this month's student planner assignment, but then also anytime you want to just go in and either drag some pictures into something blank or create something from scratch, you would go to File, New. Now you can go ahead and give it a name, right here, so I'm just going to call this New, okay? Now you choose your sizes here, okay? And normally we want to work in inches. Occasionally you want to work in some other things depending on what you're doing, but normally we want to work in inches. So here I'm actually going to make this just kind of like a rough 8 by 10. So our width is going to be 8. Our height is going to be 10. Now this next part here, resolution, is something that you want to consider. You want to think about, am I printing this out? Am I just posting this up to the web? Most of the time you're going to see resolution around 72 or even 150, okay? But we're going to go all the way to 300 because if I actually wanted to print this out, something that I created from scratch, and I want it to look good in an 8 by 10 dimension, then I want to make that resolution higher. So now I just have kind of a blank white space here, okay? And I just want to take a few minutes here to review how you can make just add color backgrounds. Again, as always, I believe it's always best to duplicate that background copy because, again, to remind you, this little lock here on this background sometimes prohibits you from doing certain things, locks out your layer. So it's always better to create a background copy of the layer for you to work on. I want to remind you too, you go over to the paint bucket tool here, okay? Hidden under here is the gradient and the paint bucket tool. Now, if you have the paint bucket tool selected, you can go down to your colors palette here, and you can choose any color in any range that you choose, okay? Any one that you select. So I'm going to go click OK. But after you select that color, and it's definitely in your foreground here, you want to then just simply dump the color in. Okay, and so let's say we want to make kind of like a framed look, all right, and I want to make another layer. Okay, remember, creating things from scratch, we click down here and create another new layer. Okay, so from here, I think now I want to make this next layer white, kind of going Peters Township colors here. And as I dump the white on top, notice now that over here, this has to do with the order that I have my pictures in. Okay, I have white, I have red, okay, red. I'm going to rename this one white. Oops, sorry. And I'm going to do one more layer of black. Rename this one first. Now, I want to show you that over here, I could simply actually reverse these two colors so that black is now on top. Just showing you a few techniques that you may or may not have been aware of. Now, I have these layered, okay? A reminder that taking the eyeball on and off will show me the layers in order, or by simply moving which direction they're in. Now, let's say that what I want to do is I want to make kind of a frame within a frame, okay? So I'm going to go hit Control T at this point. I want to always kind of, even though I'm not looking at a picture, I want to make this proportional. So to do that, I need to hit that little lock button and pull from the corner. So perhaps I want this to be a little smaller and centered in the black. Okay, then I go to, and I hit Enter to solidify that. I go to the black layer. Again, I hit Control T. I now move this one in just a little bit more and kind of center it up. Okay, and I hit Enter. All right, that is kind of like my frame, my box there. So now I have 3 different layers. They are all visible, but based on how they're lined up in here, that's the direction in which I see them. Okay, I'm going to add again just one more layer on the inside here to review about gradients. Okay, and I want to remind you that is sitting under the paint bucket tool here, and here's your gradient tool. All right, now when you go up to your gradient tool, you have to look and see what is it that I'm actually making a gradient of. Not only the colors, but how is it going, which direction. Okay, so I can choose foreground to background. This is foreground to transparent, meaning nothing's going to show up. I can make all these colors or different things appear. I could choose my own gradient okay, my own colors by selecting, maybe I want like a light red to a gray, okay. And now when I go up here, I can see that option is my first option there. My second option only gives me the red to the transparent. Now I want to show you as well, as I click over here, I can change the direction of my gradient. And some of you have played around with these ideas and some of you have not, okay? Or I can choose to make it kind of like a flag or going up and down or almost like a starburst. Okay, now again, remember it's taking up that whole space. So if I have kind of like this strange kite effect here, remember it's taking up the whole layer and that entire layer is sitting on top. Okay, again, if I want to make it more of a circular motion, and depending on where I start and end my circle, that's where it will appear. And this looks a little too Easter egg to me, so I'm actually going to make this kind of more red to black here. Oops. And I do like that circular motion, so I'm going to try that to bring that out. I don't know how centered it's going to be. Okay, working on that. Okay, so now if I hit Control T again and lock out, I can now center this if I wanted to make some kind of bullseye effect, even in the innermost center here. Okay. Now while this design doesn't really have a specific purpose at this moment, okay, it is just something, it's a tutorial in me showing you how layers work. Why do sometimes things not appear or show up? Well, it depends on, this is how you bring to front and send to back. Reminder of how I rename layers, okay? I can double click on them because as I get to more layers, it's good to name them to remember exactly what it is that the purpose was for that layer. This will make more sense for some other assignments you have later on. Okay, a reminder of how to use the paint bucket tool, how to use the gradient tool, and how to use your colors. So basically at this point I want you to mimic what I just did. You can change the colors if you choose, but I just want to see that you are able to put these layers together and save this as tutorial number 1 so that if we come back to this again to add to it, that you have it all together. Good luck.